My name is Linda Hardwick, and I grew up in Harlem, 2 blocks away from here. When I was about 8 years old, Fidel Castro came to Harlem, and he stayed over there in the Teresa Hotel. And even though I was only 8, I knew who he was, and I knew his importance, and I felt the honor that we all felt that he, instead of going downtown to some fancy hotel, he elected to stay with us in the Teresa Hotel. And I remember standing out here, I was just a kid, but I knew something, and I remember standing out here with a bunch of other people, tons of other people, waiting for him to maybe come out or stand in the window or something. We just wanted to get a glimpse of him. And it was just such an honor that he came, that he saw us, because nobody else did. And so I always have had like a connection with Cuba, even though I've never been there, but always felt that connection, that they were part of us. So that's my story. And I don't know, they've said all kinds of things about Fidel Castro, but I know that they lie.
Hi, my name is Jason from New York City. I'm a member of the Cuba Seed Coalition, New York, New Jersey. Cuba Seed, New York, New Jersey Coalition. We are out here today, October 26th, in Harlem, to demand that the blockade, the economic embargo, end against Cuba. That the U.S. embargo against Cuba should end. Cuba also should be taken off the spurious U.S. State sponsors of terrorism list. There is no evidence whatsoever that Cuba should be on such a list. The embargo is causing much economic hardship against Cuba. Cuban people, in their great majority, in spite of different opinions they have about many things, they continue to support their process in Cuba. Cuban Americans, who have various opinions about the Cuban government, demand in greater and greater numbers that the U.S. policy against Cuba should change, that the embargo should end. The United Nations vote is coming up on October 28th, where once again, the great majority of nations will vote almost unanimously to end the embargo against Cuba. Only 1 or 2 nations, the United States, likely Israel, maybe a handful of others, will vote for its continuance. But as has happened for the last few decades, the great majority will vote for that embargo to end. We want working class people, farmers, here in the United States to stand with the world, realize it is in our interest to support Cuba's sovereignty, for them to decide for themselves. U.S. economic embargo should end. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Erin Feely Nahab, and I'm one of the founder and organizer of Cuba Seed Coalition, as well as the U.S.-Cuba Mobilization Conference Committee. We're here today because we want to get the word out once again that the blockade needs to end. The U.S. blockade, the legal U.S. blockade, is killing the Cubans. It's taking their healthcare system and it's grinding it into the ground. A world-class healthcare system, which was built from Fidel with the knowledge of what the Americas and America would do, made sure that he had one of the best pharmaceutical organizations in the world. Now, with the blockade, they can no longer, and being on the state sponsor of terrorism list, they can no longer get the materials they need to make medicine, so the shelves are empty. Electricity, they can't fix their grids because they can't get parts, because America decides that if it has 10% of an American product, they're not going to be able to use it. So Cuba is left defenseless, but with the integrity and the resilience of a people who paid for their sovereignty with the blood of their ancestors and are not going back. So the U.S., as hard as they try, we have to try harder. We need Cuba. We need to show Cuba for what it is, an example to all of the world that there is a better way possible. Cuba has it. Get the U.S. off of their neck. End the U.S. blockade against Cuba. It's a failed policy. They want it to, but we don't. And the people in America say enough.